Here it is. Like science fiction, the bad science fiction that you don't want to be involved in. All right, the 18th. Here I am at around 7. We've been covered with gray slime. Lower altitude clouds all day. This doesn't even show the evenness of it. I don't understand why there's any appearance of brokenness. It was anything but broken. But what we really have is Megaslime generation. Watch this. Here it is. Right in there. There's a straight line right in there where it's all formed. It's like huge volumes of it. They must have sent the planet. I don't know how they're making it, but and it all turns right into goo. It doesn't become any kind of normal type of clouds. That should begin a straight line of it. Bam. Maybe go a little slower on it. Yep. And then what's it turning into? Goo. Right in there. See, it gets a top and then it'll all flatten out into goo. Pure goo. Some rain, then goo. It's right in there. That's in the Texas one. And then it just expands like, that's unbelievable. Over a couple of hours, it turns into this monster. Okay, that's good. I just got off the phone with our man in Oklahoma City who said the helicopters were filming this crud. And that it was clear. See, it's clear. He said it was clear. There's no jets, no nothing. And then all of a sudden, kaboom. Without any indication of or watching any normal cloud development, just boom into existence. And then comes in and hits like a huge sheet of weird. So that's a very interesting observation on the ground as this stuff comes in, and there's tons of it too. So there's plenty other places where they made it. Main distribution currently in them, and centered, compressed toward the center. Also of note, our man on the ground in OKC informed me that it's unprecedented that they've predicted tornadoes 3 days in a row. They're never able to predict them like that. So the question he asks is, where are they getting their information, or who's telling them that it's coming? And again, I said the same thing to him, that we had a forecast of serious rains from meteorologists when there was nothing on the map at all except goo and no rain anywhere. How did they predict that they was going to get it? And then all of a sudden it developed in Megaslime that was generated. So we then considered that a call probably comes into U.S. Weather Service telling them what's going to happen, and then meteorologists from all over the country are checking with the U.S. Weather Service so they can get an idea of what might be happening, which they can recast as their own. As we're very clever scientists, we can figure this out on our own. Well, no. So who's informing in advance? We have two strong indications of advance information that is not supported by any meteorological visual information. So I don't want to go on too long, but another thing of interest is on the map that fell is this thing right here, this long, thin arc. So we'll watch that for a second. Hopefully it'll be longer. It's actually close to me, the end of the tip. It doesn't seem natural. That one. It doesn't look right. It looks manufactured. But, very rare phenomenon now are normal looking clouds. Those right, I mean, those look like normal, cumulus clouds. However, right near them, the far more natural and normal, there's your gooey Jet Cirrus chem cloud weirdo crud. And as we back off, we see where the Megaslime is generating. Look at the incredible density of it relative to all the other clouds all over the whole freaking troposphere in this major slice of the planet. It's incredible. And to reinforce what we just saw and what I'm saying, it's like Intellicast shows, kind of sporadic cover here with gaps and streak gaps and yeah. How does it look? I just walked outside and it's been like this the whole day. Right, almost virtually featureless. Actually, there's a little more feature in it than there was earlier when there was nothing for the eye to grab onto. It's like your eyes go right to infinity because there's nothing else, nothing to see except that. I don't want to get into it. I'll say, see, another one's being made, that big circular bloom right there. Goes against the wind and everything. So, and this shows the rain-bearing acid. Energy is also involved in this. Is compounded by the fact that I take samples when the stuff gets here of mizzle or rain, and it's always showing this. Let me show you now. This is a clean CD case. See, all those micro droplets are full of powder. That's what it looks like, shellac. It's amazingly filthy. A lot of people have commented on that because it befouls the windshields. And it dries like shellac. So there's something in it, see? Micro powder that loves moisture and holds on to it. That's why it comes down as micro droplets. As Dr. Teller informed us, is the way of submicroscopic hydro water-loving particulate. It's amazing how much there is. Yeah, that's a good example right there. That's like shellac. You can't brush it off or anything. It is on there like glue. And every rain where drizzle or mizzle has it, for 15 minutes, it's all turning into goo. The edges. Then that's expanding more rapidly. That expanded first. Then that. So that ring there is virtually an explosive expanding ring, impinging and moving slightly over this. And this stuff will all be at 30, you'll have stuff at 30,000 feet, no doubt, because it's always there. It always does that. But it's going to be thick like a mushroom, denser, ballooning downward. Alright, a half hour later, you see it spread even more. It's still very dense. And yet it's spreading out and flattening and turning into goo. There's the pronounced centers, which had altitude, just collapse, and then it spreads into goo. Wonder, hell is a big country. It's always being expanded, and there's always room for one more. So you guaranteed. Here, about an hour and a half later, you see it's just enormous. Incredible growth, and still by far the densest cloud, on the planet. Coming up from the tropics is gray slime. Hubristic is clearly expanding into goo. See, it's not forming normal types of clouds or cumulus or large thunder clouds or anything. It's just this is what it always does. What we saw coming down there, still see it's clearly grown. So it's probably the same material. Look how stark and artificial that portion is. It's just on, and some of their new vast super material. Bam. Hi, say hi, New York. It's coming to you, baby. At the high end, we can see it's gray sliming, and that's probably at 30,000 feet there. The whole sheet's 30,000, but then it gets, and that's all that stuff. This normally would have be raining on me right now, seriously, but the time. Well, here at 8:30, which is again another 10 hours later, what has happened is pretty darn disturbing, because all that stuff we saw yesterday basically turned into a big circle. Went up here, and that's all that. All that stuff is from yesterday. That huge Megaslime. And what's it turned into? Slime. I mean, it's all stringy, weirdo, gray slime. Unfortunately, what's happened is exactly the same thing. Again, right in the same areas. Giant superblooms from out of nowhere, just kablamo. Unfortunately, I didn't dial this up until, those already have developed some, but it doesn't matter. We saw it yesterday. Circular blooms,